In this video I want to talk about Eros and Thanatos. So Freud had a few different ways of modeling the human personality. The first one was the pleasure principle and the reality principle as forces that battled within the person. The second model that Freud had was ego as a mediator between superego, which is morality, and the id, which is powerful drives towards aggression and sexual expression. And the third model was Eros and Thanatos, Eros being the life drive and Thanatos the death drive. So I want to talk about those for a while. I've been reading a lot of Thomas More on the soul. I started with Care of the Soul and then A Religion of One's Own. And now I'm reading Soulmates. And he's helped me see that humans have a choice in life between opening themselves up and trying to understand what the soul wants and following that, which is often a form of choosing life and vitality and expression, imagination, or just staying where they are, trying to hold on to what they have, trying to keep everything the same, and that can be an expression of the death drive. Now, there are times when the death drive is very natural, when we want to have stillness, when we want to have sleep and rest and calm. This is my interpretation of Freud. I don't know if Freud actually says these things. And so it's not a matter of always choosing life over death, because sometimes we do need that rest and stillness and calm. But when it comes to choosing a path that opens us up to the contingency and excitement and danger and adventure of life, it's important to choose Eros. The erotic for Freud had a slightly different meaning from what we think of today. For Freud, my understanding of Freud is that, for example, when the baby is sucking milk from the mother at her breast, that's an erotic act. So Eros is a form of nourishment. Our bodies are nourished, and we feel protected, safe, secure, and loved. So there's a connection between the sexual act and the imbibing of nourishment. And this connection continues all the way into mature sexuality and adulthood. So that when we're making love, it's a physiological experience, but it's also nourishing for our souls. We are often physically naked to each other, so our bodies are bare, and our souls, in full lovemaking, which we give ourselves and open ourselves fully to receiving the other, our souls are also interacting and connecting and blending and moving between sort of state of oneness as well as separation, recognizing similarities as well as differences. So Eros is a really powerful force. It's the drive behind procreation. It's what causes reproduction, right? Our desire to connect with the other person, the other body, the other soul. And Eros is, I feel like the movement between Eros and Thanatos is a daily movement. So Thomas More talks about the difference between the spirit and the soul. The spirit moves towards outward adventure, extension, expansion, and the soul is about coziness, intimacy, everyday ways of maintaining our lives, doing laundry, doing dishes, shopping for food. These are soul acts. But I would say both of these belong to Eros. And so Eros typically is what gives us passion and desire. And to connect with Eros is to open up your life to possibilities, not to try to follow a strict structured plan when you impose a plan onto reality and hold on to that plan with unyielding attachment, then there's a death drive involved, right? Because you're not opening yourself to the variety and contingency of life. I had an acting teacher once who said that, who advised us to be the cork on the ocean. So we're floating on top of the ocean. We might get submerged by waves, but then we rise to the top. Speaking for myself, there have definitely been times when I've kind of shrunk in and protected myself, choosing what I thought was safety and security rather than openness to life and to whatever comes, because it involves a certain trust that you're capable of handling whatever comes when you open yourself to life and when you reveal aspects of yourself that show how complicated and idiosyncratic and individual your soul is. There's a risk that it will be rejected and criticized. Certainly I've felt that fear. When I came to Canada as a boy, the first school that we moved to, I was ridiculed for my accent, for not knowing certain slang, for asking naive questions, and it really caused me to shut down. But then the second school we moved to in Canada, my family, I was then in a very multicultural neighborhood, and I felt free to express myself. So that early trauma has affected me and has made me sometimes obsess about security and safety. But I'm learning to let go. I'm learning to open up, to take risks. So I'll leave you with a quote. It's Nietzsche, the philosopher from whom we get the idea of living dangerously. And he said, the way to find the most fruitfulness in life is to live dangerously. And for me that means to choose life, to choose adventure, to risk. Obviously we should not be in a state of tension and anxiety. We sometimes need to take risks gradually. But it's important to recognize, to see the play between Eros and Thanatos in our lives, so that we can be more intentional and conscious when we make our choices. Thanks for watching.